So we have seen what the circle criterion is when we have a sector nonlinearity that lies in the sector given by the positive slopes k1 and k2. Okay, so to recall what it said is yeah, the g tilde transfer function that is got from the slopes k1 and k2 and the transfer function g is going to be strictly positive real if the Nyquist plot of G does not enter the circle whose diameter endpoints are at -1 by k1 and -1 by k2 and does not intersect the particular circle, and this circle is also encircled by the Nyquist plot of G in the counterclockwise directions as many times as there are number of poles of the transfer function G on the right half of the S plane. Okay, this is what the circle criterion stated. Now we'll see how the circle criterion can be extended to the cases of the sector nonlinearities where either k2 is infinity or k1 is 0, or when k1 is 0 and k2 is infinity. So basically we look into the sector nonlinearity where the sector is defined by k1 infinity, or the sector is defined by 0 k2, or the sector is defined by the 0 infinity. Okay, so what we had was the following. If the nonlinearity is essentially represented, let's say, or the nonlinearity lies in this uh, sector that you have, where the slope here is k2 and the slope here is k1. Okay, so the nonlinearity is essentially going to be inside this particular sector. For such a case, we saw that the forbidden zone, okay, was the circle and everything inside the circle that was basically at a diameter of -1 by k1 -1 by k2, right? So let's say this is the circle, and the endpoints here are essentially, this is -1 by k2 and this endpoint is -1 by k1. This is the circle. Now let's say that the value of k1 decreases. Okay, so the value of k1, let's say, decreases, which essentially means what? That this green straight line that you see is going to come down. Okay, if the value of k1 decreases and the slope of the green line decreases, so it will come down. So what would this mean? The magnitude of 1 by k1 increases, right? Which essentially means that the -1 by k1 point moves further to the left. So with decrease in k1, this point starts moving further to the left. So this is indicating what? that the radius of the circle is increasing. So k1 decreases, minus 1 by k1 moves to the left, radius of the circle increases, which means that the forbidden zone increases. Okay, so now, so earlier what you had was everything inside the circle, including this circle, was basically marked as the forbidden zone. Okay, this was the forbidden zone that you had. Now things have changed, and what you have is essentially a bigger circle because the k1 has now shifted. Please note that we are keeping k2 as constant, so the k2 point is still there. Now you have a bigger circle, and hence the forbidden zone also has changed. The forbidden zone is going to be this, everything inside this bigger circle. Now the GS that we have is going to have to satisfy all the criteria, so that G tilde is going to be strictly positive real with this bigger circle. Okay. Please note that for this discussion and all discussions henceforth, we'll be considering G. We'll be considering mention this. We'll be considering G such that it has no poles in the ORHP. Okay, for all our discussions further. So this means the Nyquist plot should not encircle the circle, and the Nyquist plot must not have any intersection with the circle or the region inside. Okay, now this forbidden zone is increasing as the value of k1 drops. So as the value of k1 approaches 0, you see the radius of circle approaches infinity. Okay, so as k1 comes closer to 0, the radius of the circle approaches infinity. Now when finally k1 becomes 0 at k1 equal to 0, you will have a circle of infinite radius, which essentially is nothing but what we would like to call to be a straight line passing through the point minus 1 by k2. Just my straight line is not that straight. Let's see if I can have a straighter line. So passing through the point minus 1 by k2. So this is the circle of infinite radius. The green straight line is essentially representing a circle of infinite radius. So notice that this straight line is parallel to the imaginary axis of the GS plane and is passing through the point minus 1 by k2 on the real axis. Okay. Now the interior of the circle that we used to have when k1 was non-zero translates to everything on the right hand side of this particular straight line, including the straight line, of course. So when k1 is 0, the forbidden zone becomes everything to the right of the straight line passing through the minus 1 by k2 point, and hence the Nyquist plot of G must not enter the right hand side, must not enter the left hand side. My mistake, it's not the right hand side, it's the left hand side of the straight line. Okay, it's the left hand side. So must not enter the left hand side of this particular straight line. Okay, so everything to the left of the green straight line passing through the minus 1 by k2 point parallel to the imaginary axis of the GS plane is the forbidden zone. The Nyquist plot of G cannot enter this particular zone. Okay, so the circle criterion for the case k1 equal to 0 translates to this. So if let me choose the pen. So if the sector nonlinearity is in the 0 k2 sector, then the circle criterion gets modified to the fact that the Nyquist plot of G must not enter, or rather I should say must lie to the right of, must lie strictly to the right. Okay, it should not even lie on the straight line, so it must lie strictly to the right of the straight line passing through the point minus 1 by k2 comma 0. I can say minus 1 by k2 plus j0 parallel to the imaginary axis of the GS plane, basically the plane where you have the Nyquist plot. Okay, to ensure 1 plus k2g is strictly positive. Okay, the Nyquist plot must lie to the must lie to the right of this particular straight line, strictly to the right of this particular straight line. Okay, this is what we get when the sector nonlinearity is going to be in the region 0 to k2. Okay, so this is what happens when k1 decreases and finally goes to 0. Now let's say that we fix the value of k1 and change k2. Okay, so let us have that circle again and see what happens. Okay, we are all set. So this was the minus 1 by k1 point, and this point was the minus 1 by k2 point. We'll now keep k1 constant and we'll vary k2. So that means the minus 1 by k2 point will see a motion. Okay. So what we are going to see here is what happens if k2 is increased. So if k2 increases, then the slope of the blue line increases. If the slope of the blue line increases, the magnitude of 1 by k2 decreases. Okay, so increase in k2 means you have increase in the magnitude, a decrease in the magnitude of 1 by k2, which means the minus 1 by k2 point moves towards the left. Okay, so we are considering k1 to be fixed. K2 increases, uh, which implies minus 1 by k2 point moves to the right, which again implies that the radius of the circle increases. Okay, so let's say that you have a circle which is because of the increase in k2, so is possibly going to look like this. Just allow me to set it properly. Okay, roughly it is going to look like this. This is what it will look like. The endpoint will be at minus 1 by k1, and the endpoint minus 1 by k2 would have just shifted. So the forbidden zone that you would have has increased from everything inside the blue circle, including the blue circle, to everything inside the, I don't know what you call this color, probably purple circle. Everything inside the purple circle. Okay, everything inside the purple circle with the purple circle itself. So that becomes your forbidden zone. So Nyquist plot cannot enter this particular circle. So when K2 approaches infinity, so K2 approaches infinity, 1 by K2 will become 0, which means you will have a circle with the diameter endpoints at minus 1 by k1 and 0. So unlike the previous case, you still have a circle whose diameter endpoints are at minus 1 by k1 and 0. Okay, so it is going to be this particular circle. I mean, I'll shift this circle. But this circle is not going to cross onto the right half. This is green circle that you see, and everything inside this particular green circle. Okay, the area inside the green circle and the green circle itself. So basically you have a circle which passes through minus 1 by k1 and is tangent to the imaginary axis. This is what happens when your k2 becomes 0, right? So this is when your k2 becomes infinite. So k2 is infinite, is what you have. Okay. So the circle criterion now changes to that g tilde equal to g by 1 plus k1g is strictly positive real if the Nyquist plot of g does not intersect. When I say does not intersect, it means it does not touch the circle or comes to lie or has any part that lies inside the circle. Okay, so the Nyquist plot of g does not intersect a circle with diameter endpoints at minus 1 by k1 and 0. So this is how the circle criterion gets modified for the case when your sector nonlinearity is in the sector k1 till infinity. Okay, so now it is easy to visualize from here that what happens when the sector nonlinearity is in the 0 infinity sector. With k2 becoming infinity, you have the circle to be tangent to the imaginary axis. Now when k1 becomes 0, the circle becomes a straight line, which is nothing but the imaginary axis. Okay, so when we consider the 0 infinity sector, this is essentially k2 being infinity, so the circle definitely is tangent to the imaginary axis, and with k1 becoming 0, it is the imaginary axis that becomes the straight line that we have, and everything to the left of the imaginary axis becomes the forbidden zone, including the imaginary axis, of course, which means that the Nyquist plot of G must lie strictly to the right side of the imaginary axis, which essentially is trying to say that G has to be strictly positive real, right? That is what we had as a condition, right? So for this, the Nyquist plot of G must lie strictly to the right of the imaginary axis of the GS plane. Okay, so to recall, when k1 and k2 are positive and none of them is 0 or infinity, we have a circle whose diameter and points are minus 1 by k1 and minus 1 by k2, and the Nyquist plot of G must not intersect this particular circle. Please note that, as I had mentioned, we are considering G which has no poles in the ORHP in this particular discussion. So the Nyquist plot of G must not intersect this particular circle. Now, as if k1 is 0, thus indicating that your sector nonlinearity is going to be in the sector 0 k2, then in such a case, oh sorry, if the sector nonlinearity is going to be in a region 0 k2, yes, then the region that gets forbidden is basically the left of the straight line passing through minus 1 by k2 parallel to the imaginary axis. So the Nyquist plot of G must strictly lie to the right side of this particular straight line passing through minus 1 by k2 point and parallel to the imaginary axis. That is important to note. And if you are considering a sector nonlinearity that is going to lie or going to consider sector nonlinearity where the sector that is under consideration is the k1 infinity sector, then your Nyquist plot must not intersect the circle whose diameter endpoints are minus 1 by k1 and 0. And if the sector nonlinearity is defined to lie on the sector 0 to infinity, then the Nyquist plot of G must strictly lie to the right of the imaginary axis of the GS plane. Okay, this is what we have for all the four sectors that we had seen, with the fact that K1 and K2 are positive wherever they occur. Now, what if one of the slopes is negative or both the slopes are negative? Will these conditions still work? Or how the circle criterion change in those cases? And will we see any change in the loop transformations for such cases, thus resulting in any change in the condition on G tilde, or the expression of G tilde that we get? Okay, so in the next lecture, we'll see what if one of the slopes is negative or both the slopes are negative. So we'll stop our discussion here. Thank you.